Hey guys, welcome back to the deep dive through the upside down. And you're probably wondering why there's only two of us. Well, Mr. Fuentes actually took an hiatus to start recording his album. Hopefully, that will be out
Hmm.
soon. But it's gonna just be me and Drew for this time being for the season until Mr. Fuentes decides to come out of hiatus to come and join us. But the fun thing about today is we get to go over season one, which we've been pretty much excited to go over through. Um,
Hmm.
I just like surpassed the introductions. I'm Tiffany, I'm Annie, and then right here is my best friend, Mr. Drew Dredd, with me today.
It's been a
Like
while.
I know it has been a while. We took a month off
Yeah.
and now we're back.
Now we're
Brand
back.
new year. Yeah, now we're back. Brand new year. New me, new year.
New.
New year. New
Stop.
year. That we have to
Did you
start it
see
off
that?
that
Did
way.
you see what I reposted on Instagram or Instagram on Facebook of a New Year, new me, new pizza,
New
Papa
pizza.
John's actually
Yes.
new ingredients.
New ingredients, better pizza, Papa
So fucking
John's.
funny.
I
So funny.
can't. It's just everybody with the new year, new me thing. Um,
Yeah.
it's just
So
it's just
funny.
hilarious. I couldn't. I could never. But I'm still a new person, regardless. For the new
Yes.
brand, for everybody that is joining us for the first time ever, we are part of the Emo Sowa Productions page on YouTube. Instagram, you can find us at Wrestling Tacos as well. We're at 110. Is it? No, 210.
200.
210. I'm
Mm-hmm.
losing 100 that way. 210 subscribers as we speak and still going. You know, excited. New year blowing up, trying new things, seeing how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. But like as I was saying, we are going jumping into season 1, episode 1 to figure out what the hell happened to Will Byers.
No
You know,
buyers.
because he went missing this first episode of the first season to start it all kind of off. Expectation wise, coming into this season to how it was like all the way through now, it's so
Yeah.
different. The kids are
Yeah.
so young, man.
I remember when I first it took me a while to start watching Stranger Things. I heard a lot of buzz about it, and
Hmm.
it took maybe like I started watching after. Actually, I started watching when they started filming season three.
What?
So I watched it after like season two, basically, and I was like, at first, honestly, it was kind of slow. You know, I was like, like no, like I hear all this gibber about Stranger Things being awesome, and I'm just like, this show is slow. It's so slow. It's like it's not catching my eye. And then we'll get more into it, but yeah, I had a lot of high expectations for this show when it first started, and but yeah.
I remember when it first started. Like I was one of the day oneers that watched
Hmm.
it when it first released. And by all means, you're not wrong. It is a very very very
Yep.
very slow build up. It's just a lot to go through and a lot to get through, and it's just so crazy. Like I said, from seeing the kids, what starting off at 10, I think it's 10 or 11
Yeah.
that they filmed at, to see them like teenagers already graduating and going to college. I'm like, shh.
They had that squeaky voice, and now they're like, "Yeah, my name's Will." It's like, what the fuck?
The only voice that didn't change is Will's.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Everybody else's stayed the
I don't
same.
know
You're
why I
like,
said that, but yeah.
no, you're right. You're right. Just we'll give them credit. Maybe the next season for
The one
season.
who grew so much, like who like is like effectively a fucking man, is Mike. God damn.
Damn,
The fuck?
he just changed. He's
He
so
just
different.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but
It's the hair. He grew into his hair. He grew into his length, and bam, brand new man. He is literally like changed forever. um with the season starting off with episode 1, the boys are all playing Dungeon and Dragons downstairs in Mike's house, kind of just
Mhm.
hanging out, starting. I think they're finishing off their last campaign for the season, I think.
Yes.
um what is it, they were talking about demogorgons and that they had to roll to
Excuse me.
defeat one. If not, Will was going. Will the wise was going to get captured or kidnapped by a Demogorgon, ends up not rolling correctly,
Mhm.
losing the game for the season. And I'm like, oof, this is not a good start at all for it. I honestly didn't know what Dungeons and Dragons were until I watched this.
Me neither.
And I was kind of confused at the beginning. I was like, what is this? But all the Dungeons and Dragons are fans are probably hating on me right now. Like, you don't
No,
know
like
what it is?
I'm the same way too. When I started watching it, like honestly, I hate to judge. When I first started watching, I was like, "What is this?" Like, I wasn't talking crap, you know. I was just like, "Okay, this is gonna be so hard for me to get used to, if I'm really gonna commit to this show." So like, um, yeah, I was just like, I don't know about the show. Just by watching the first like 5 minutes, I was like, I'm just gonna keep watching it. Okay, okay. It's just it's just out of my thing, you
Yeah.
know. So, but yes, I it took me a while for me to like, okay, I'll get used to it. Okay, they love Dungeons and Dragons. That's what they do. So, storytelling.
Yeah, and I thought honestly, like the first 5 to 10 minutes, I thought we are gonna get some type of LARPing or something at the beginning,
Oh,
like the kids all dressed up. I thought that would have been a possible thing that would have happened throughout the whole seasons, all 5 seasons. The only time we got it is literally in season 5, where they were starting to get all the
yep.
gear and everything together. But
Hmm.
like I kind of figured it was gonna happen either in season 1, season 2, and no, nothing. I
Nope.
was like, "Damn, no LARPing." I like LARPing. I mean, seeing people play is fucking hilarious, but no LARPing at all.
No LARPing.
So we get, I think Will leaves out of Mike's house on his bike on his way home. Light starts to mess with him as he's going down the road. I think he's like a mile or two out from his house. Um, Light starts to flicker. Think he goes off road and crashes
Hmm.
down, and he sees
Yes.
some kind of figure or something in the woods that shouldn't be there. And lo and behold, what we didn't know was some type of creature or monster was an actual Demogorgon that was actually out there.
Hmm.
And so all we hear is a scream, and then the bike, we get a shot of the bike, and then the scene starts. The
Yeah.
whole episode starts. Don't know what happened there. Just
I,
kind
at
of,
at that moment, I instantly thought of Super 8, the movie. I don't know, it just gave me that type of vibe. But yeah, when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. Let's see what happens.
you're like,
Um,
ooh, interesting.
yeah, I was like, finally, it only took 10 minutes or some shit. I'm just kidding. But yes.
It's crazy though. Like it, I would say it's just the way that the story is now to where it is. The storytelling, like I said, it went like a little bit more on like the slower end for everything. It just kind of was it just jumped scenes pretty quick.
Hmm.
So it went from that to Will's missing, and then I'm like, okay, cool. We're just gonna
Go
jump
right into it,
go
basically. Yeah.
right straight into it.
Yeah.
And I was honestly looking for like more of a story in
Hmm.
between instead
Oh,
of
okay.
like
Yeah.
day 1 or day 2. They went like straight into, I think, like 2 days, 3 days
Yeah. Hmm.
after he was missing. They had like the signs and everything posted. Um what else is there? I'm blanking. I'm looking at my notes right now.
No, you're fine.
Let me see.
We can edit this out, Franco.
Yeah, he's probably looking at me like, oh, I can't with you. Oh, well, this is where we get introduction into Jim Hopper though, because I know that Will's mother calls the chief. Is it the chief of police? No, he's not the chief. He's a local sheriff at the
Yeah.
time. And the whole issue is that Will's mom uh Joyce and dad are kind of like in a divorce or going
Hmm.
through a divorce. So Hopper kind of just kind of plays like, oh, well, maybe he's with his dad. He ran away, went to his dad because he didn't want to be here anymore. That's why he's missing.
Yeah.
So the Hopper's already deflecting like, oh, it's not he's not missing. He just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He's a teen boy,
He ran
or
away, all that, yeah, all that stuff.
yeah, and like Joyce ain't buying it. She's like,
Hmm.
nah, he doesn't like his dad. His dad doesn't even like him. Like, doesn't come to see him, nothing like that. So, they search through the woods, kind of to see if there's anything. They do stumble upon his bike though,
Hmm.
which is pretty key. Like, why would he leave his bike there if he went to his dad's? Like, doesn't add up at all.
Doesn't register.
Yes. Honestly, feels like maybe there was some foul play. Someone kind of end up wanting to kidnap him, or take him out
Hmm.
and just leave all the evidence just kind of there. I'm like, who wouldn't
And
take out a
that's when
newborn?
the credits started rolling.
Yeah. And that was it. That was the end
That
of
was it.
season one. Just take him out, but
Can you imagine if like that's how just first episode, well, gone, like gone, gone.
gone, gone. Like,
What do you go after that? It's like,
start taking out every single kid one by one.
yeah.
Who's
Stranger
next?
Things is only
Mike?
one season.
There you go. They wanted to kill him off anyways pretty soon. They just might
Yeah.
as well just do it now.
Yep.
Instead of lingering like 7, 8 episodes, just now. Just could take him out. Um, with the whole disappearance, everybody's kind of on edge, especially all the parents, with Mike's parents, Lucas's parents, Dustin's parents. No one really wants them to go out, go play, go anywhere out of their sight because of everything that's happened with Will. So they don't want anybody else's kids getting kidnapped. But the only thing is that Nancy and Nancy ends up finding a boyfriend or having a boyfriend, and
Hmm.
well, not in a serious relationship. We won't put him on a label yet, but starts dating Steve Harrington.
Steve. I wish
Steve,
Fuentes was here.
yes, because we'll get the little pop of him, like, look, Steve, my man.
He's not
Um,
only she's going out with the coolest guy in school too. So
yes, coolest guy, not the hair yet. It's all
yeah.
he hadn't maintained it yet. It's kind of like not buzzed up, but like fluffed up with the
Hmm.
hairspray. Not what his luscious locks are now. Um, this is when we also get introduced into Barb, Miss Barbara.
Barb.
Barb, Nancy's best friend, kind of tells her like, you shouldn't really be dating him. He's not good news, or he's like bad news. Kind of influencing her in the wrong direction. But
Hmm.
Nancy gets, Nancy wants. She's gonna end up being interested with him. But let me see. Oh, well, Barb is trying to just protect her and to like,
Yeah.
telling her like, hey, I don't want you to sleep with him or anything. He's just
Hmm.
only into you because he thinks you're good
Just
looking,
a,
and that's pretty
yep.
much it. And
Just men being men.
men, no, not even men, boys
Oh,
being
there you
what,
go.
men don't do that. I don't know. But let me see. She actually
Steve.
tries to I think she actually tries to see Steve in secret without her parents knowing, I think, in this
Yeah.
episode. Like, she
Yeah.
sneaks out.
Uh huh.
I'm trying to think of what else. I think,
Yeah. I have notes right here too.
let me see. Oh
And
yeah.
they Steve invites her over to his house with some friends.
Oh, that's the party. The
The
party.
party,
The party.
the
The
lit
party.
party.
The pool party, is it? The pool party?
Shit. I'm trying to remember. Like, did Barb like force herself to go to the party with her, or she got invited?
No, I think Nancy told her to go with her. Oh, it would be
Uh,
fun. It would be something
yeah,
to go
yeah.
do. So I was like, oh, interesting.
That's
Like,
the part I'm trying to remember because I know Barb, like, obviously does not want to party like that. So
Mhm.
Barb. And I do remember that's when Jonathan was in the woods, being a little weird to be honest.
Yeah.
Taking random pictures at the house and then the party, and then eventually taking pictures of Nancy upstairs. That was pretty weird. I'm gonna lie. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure everybody thinks that's weird. So
And also developing that photo. Like,
yeah,
no, like he developed the
that is
one with
so true. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
he developed the one with Barb, I think, just sitting on
On the oh my god, what's
the
it
dive
called?
board,
There you go,
the
diveboard.
diving
Yeah, yeah.
board. And then it pans to him like looking at Nancy because Nancy's right there by the window because she's looking
Hmm.
down at Barb to see if Barb is okay before the whole incident with everything. Just taking a look, seeing, and then he just kind of pans up, takes photos, and then she disappears. Like, he was checking because I think something happened to his camera where he like
Hmm.
either ran out of film or the film got jammed. And then when he looks up, she's not there.
She's gone.
Yeah, and Barb actually isn't there either. Barb disappeared at the same time because the whole upside down thing.
I'm trying to remember the reason why he actually looked up was because the bar made like make a noise. Like, did she scream?
It was either like like a scream screech, or if not, it was like a branch breaking behind
Uh
him.
huh.
But I couldn't
Okay.
remember which one it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would have to look. I would have to listen back to see what it is. But it had to have been one of the three. Either it was a screech, scream, or a tree branch breaking, and he didn't want to get caught because it's obviously
Yeah.
private property, and you're not
Hmm.
invited to the cool kids party. So you know,
So let me just get my camera and go in the woods and take pictures.
thus this is the story of Jeffrey Dahmer, guys. I'm so sorry.
When I first started watching it, I immediately was like, okay, it's gonna be very hard for me to like Jonathan. Like if he, something happen, good happens to him in the future episodes. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm either gonna hate this guy or I don't know, somehow I'm gonna love him later in the series or episodes or whatever. But that moment, I was like, all right, this guy's just a huge creep,
Yeah,
honestly.
he's
So
just hanging out in the woods. Who just
yeah,
does that? Like,
I
I
don't.
mean, like, come on, man. At night, like,
Yeah, first of all, you have to have a lot of confidence to walk in the woods at night
oh yeah,
to
no.
do
I'm taking a
that.
light with me, my GPS, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be the one that goes missing in the woods. Well, first of all, I get it that your brother's missing. He's in the woods. But like for you to go at night with your camera by yourself with no
Mm,
alibi, like
yeah,
you're gonna be the first one. Looks kind of sus to me, you know?
yeah, yeah.
But I thought the same thing too. I was like, man, watching him, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like him at all. Like, I thought he was gonna be the weird kid that
Hmm.
really did kidnap his own brother and like, you know, out him already, or like,
Because I loved how I'm trying to remember if they like said it or the kids said it themselves, but they were like the strange ones out of the group. Like they're not popular and this and
mhm.
that. Well, Jonathan is way like
He's way
out of that.
bad.
Yeah,
He's
he's
way
way
out
ahead of
of
that.
bounds.
You know
He's
what I'm
way out
saying?
of bounds for that.
So, but yeah, that's when I was like, oh, this kid or this dude, something else,
I
taking
know.
pictures from the woods. So I was
What
like,
is it? I
okay.
think they even mentioned, I think they were a part of a club, like I think it's like the AV club or whatever. Like eventually in like seasons later, they mentioned that they're a part of like the science club or
Mm,
like the AV club, something like that. I know that it had to be deal with like tech, with walkies, radios, stuff like that. Because I remember specifically Dustin talking about it. But anywho, while the kids, all kids, Justin, Lucas, and Mike are going out to go look for Will to see if they have any possible lead or clue, they go out in the woods with their flashlights looking around. They stumble upon a buzz cut young girl, which, as we know now, is 11 or L for short, Miss Hand to the face the whole time. Um, she's wearing a hospital gown. Well, at the time they meet her, she's actually wearing that big old yellow Benny's, is it Benny's
Yeah.
shirt from the
Hmm.
diner? Um, Revert back a little bit on that episode. Um, she is lost. She had like a hospital gown on. The owner of the diner finds her, takes her, feeds her. I think they feed her like
Asking
what
her
a
questions, all this
yeah,
stuff.
like
Yeah.
what's going on? Why are you out here by yourself? Why are you in a hospital gown? Why do you have a tattoo on your arm? Like, asking all the right questions. He calls at the time he thinks is CPS, but it's not. Gives a description of what the girl looks like, where she's at, and we have somebody that pops up in there and says they're CPS, wants to talk to the girl, and bop bop, get Mr. Benny down, my guy. Like, so sad, dude. Like, just
That was sad, but not
bop
sad the
bop.
way you said it.
Well, it was a silencer, man. It was a silenced pistol, my guy. They were covering their tracks. They didn't want no one to know that they were there, and they just went pop. I could have said ra-da-da-da-da-da-da, but they didn't use any.
Right.
They didn't use any of those.
No.
That was
But
back
yeah,
in the 80s.
it was the 80s.
It was the 80s, guys.
But yeah, they made it seem like it was like he did it himself. Um, but
Which is
very, very,
wild. Which is
yeah.
wild though, because like you use okay, so the technology back then wasn't as good as like forensics wise, like ballistics and
Hmm.
stuff. So like they straight up use a silencer, take off the silencer,
And they,
wipes
yep,
down the gun, and puts the gun right there. And
yep,
I'm sitting because I watched Law and Order SVU, and I'm like, what the like why? Like,
yeah.
but then again, like you said, it's the 80s.
It's
It's not as advanced as it is
and it's not
now.
CPS.
It's not CPS. It's not, obviously. We actually don't know. We don't know
Yeah.
we don't know
Well, at
who
that
at the
moment, for
time.
sure, you're like, well, this is not CPS.
We're like FBI, or like what's going on? FBI wouldn't do this. Like cartel? Like damn. Who does this woman owe money to? Like damn.
No
But it,
Topo's daughter's on the loose.
oh shoot. That's why she was running through tunnels, dude.
Yeah, there you go. The
Hey,
tattoo.
the tattoo, man. That's kid number 11. He has to know know about. But dude, I was crazy. Honestly, sitting down watching that, like I would say for the first time, I'm like, dude, I wouldn't think CPS would do that. But who's really after this chick?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, I don't know
Hmm.
why she's out here the way that she is. Why is she running around just in a hospital gown? Uh, like, what is what is she wanting for and why? Like
Yeah.
that was my big mindset looking at it. Um, but yeah, find out that he's dead. Hopper, they go to the diner because they hadn't heard from him. I think in a couple of days, they comes to find out that they said that it was a self-inflicted gun wound that he ended up
Hmm.
shooting himself, and that I think a patron or like a diner, one of the workers ended up finding him there. Um, They're trying to string what's going on with Will Byers, also string the murder that just happened, all trying to piece it together, but it doesn't seem like it's all one piece. So they're thinking it's two separate things instead. Um, Let me see. They try to capture 11, but she ends up escaping from that diner, ends up bumping into the kids in the woods, with the flashlight in her face, all drenched in the rain because they were all
Hmm.
looking for Will and everything. Joyce is going a little bit crazy as well too at this time. She's thinking that she's hearing Will. She could hear Will. Um,
I think that was the most messed up part was she would answer the phone. It was like people like messing with her.
yeah,
That was messed up. Like
I thought that was really sad. Like
that was very sad.
that kid's missing and y'all guys are joking around because he's missing, like she's going through some stuff. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I get it, not understandably, like,
Like, I wouldn't say in a good way, but when I saw that scene, I was like, damn, this show doesn't mess around. I was
right.
like not to be on a positive side, but I was like, shit, like I like how this. I mean, I can see people being like that, being cruel. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty real, I guess you can say. So I was like, okay, like again, this show doesn't mess around. When I was watching it for the first time, and I heard those comments, on the other line, I'm like, God, like
Y'all
I'm
are
throwing hands.
heartless. Like,
I'm throwing hands if
let's
something
go.
that happens to me.
Let's go, fam.
Like,
I'm like,
yeah.
but damn, like as a mom, like if someone would call me and said stuff about my kids and like why they're missing and stuff, I would be like, oh, so let's go. I could track you with your number right now, fam. Like I'm not
Hmm.
messing with you. Back then, they couldn't do that. It was all
Yeah.
through landlines, everything. But she kept on getting phone call after phone call after phone call until she got one that sounded like Will, and she thought that someone was messing with her for real. Like if they kidnapped her, had kidnapped him, had him hostage, and she's trying to yell for him, and then I think what the phone explodes or
Yeah.
like burns
Oh
out,
my God. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and you could see the smoke from the earpiece, and it just combust into flames at that point, which she thought was weird because she didn't understand why it did that. We know, we're like, ooh, like
I mean, I didn't know. Like, first of all, phones should not do that.
you're like, oh damn, she has a bad plug. We gotta get her a new phone, you know. Um, but yeah, I thought it was pretty crazy. Like, why, why that? Why now? Like, why couldn't have been some kind of significant way for her to know that it was Will? Until we get a little bit more into the season, we know why. But I guess that felt like it was a right telling moment because she could hear his voice. That was the only way she could hear it is by through the phone.
Mhm.
Um, not any other way. Now that we know, watching the seasons all the way through, like there's different types of way for communication or whatever from the other side, but at this time and moment, they didn't know what that was. They didn't know uh content wise, and that was the only way that Will was able to be able to do that,
Mhm.
which is crazy. I'm all how I thought he was kidnapped for real, for real. Like I
Yeah.
said, cartel money, man. Big in the 80s, cocaine and all that. Phew. Mm, crazy. Will got tangled up.
Cartels and Hawkins.
Hawkins, yeah. What is it, Hawkins, Indiana? What's
Yeah.
going on in
I
Indiana,
don't know
man?
how to go that far.
You know what? Let's pitch this to the Duffin brothers. Season 6, guys. Just make it all about the cartel. Forget about the upside down now.
About the
It's just
upside
all.
down. You're slowly turning in the Fast and Furious franchise right now. Just taking on anybody.
You know what? Just take on everyone. Just throw some freaking dinosaurs in there too, my guy. Make it fast, Jurassically fast, my guy. Just add
You
it in
gotta you
there.
gotta have you gotta have Eleven and Dominic Toretto together, same family or some shit like
Family.
that.
And then she has the
Family, yeah.
headband. I'm done.
Dodge coming in the air.
Just take it out of Demogorgon or the Mind Flayer. I can't. Just
The title of this episode is gonna be like Fast and Furious, Stranger Things? Question mark.
it was in budgeting.
$1 billion budget.
$1 billion budget just to get the two franchises to go hand in hand. I can't. It's too much. It's too
We need
much.
that. We need that. No, we need that. That'd
But
be
we do.
insane.
But we do. Duffin Brothers, if it's in the budget, if it's in the budgeting next year, just give it to us. Not even next year, like 5 years from now, we're gonna get another season. But honestly, the episode pretty much ends with the boys flashing the light right in front of Eleven's face, and they, "Who are you?" And then,
Yep.
bam, and that's it. It was short, sweet, to the point. I honestly don't miss episodes like that because it just irritates me because then it's so quick. Like you feel like you're just watching. As a mom, I watch Bluey all the time, and those episodes are only 7 minutes long. That's literally what it feels like. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It doesn't feel like it's 7 minutes long, but it's only 7 minutes long. Every
How do you watch
episode
a
of
show
Bluey.
like that?
I don't kids. I'm all. But
Oh,
that's what it
I don't
feels
know what
like.
it is. Oh, okay, okay.
It's a Disney show
Oh,
with
okay.
dogs and stuff. It's so cute.
Mm,
But it's 7 minutes long, 7, 8 minutes long. Short, sweet, to the point. It tells you your problem, your antagonist, your conclusion, ending.
you
That's
know,
it.
that might be a good idea if you can do like a really like high intense drama like show. Oh, that would be a good idea.
Hey, whoa. Well, I don't want to lose out of my 30, 45 minute episodes into like 10, 15 minutes.
I'm kind of interested in that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That would be a good intense show. You just put it
Like
straight
like
through like
10
that.
minutes, like 10 minutes the max of his
10-minute episodes.
shows. 10 episodes, 10 minutes, an hour or some shit like that. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty neat. Just put all in one.
Yeah.
Damn, I probably gave it to the Duffin brothers. You'd be like, all right, guys, it's going to be a total of 50 episodes for season 6, all 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. You got to sit down and watch them. No restroom breaks, limited commercials. And we'll just go through.
That's a good idea. You gotta make them really good though, obviously.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's like pristine. I would feel like it would be a pretty good thing if they did do it that way, as if like the episode feeds into each other. So like the opening on one, the episode goes through, not even
Yeah.
go straight into credits, you just black out, goes into the next
Maybe
episode
like
pretty quick.
how like in this season there's a lot, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. But like in this recent season there's a lot of stuff going on. Like there was 4 or 5 storylines going on. So one episode would be about that one storyline, right? What's going on. The next episode would be that one other storyline. The next one would be that other one. Then eventually just they're just coming together.
Like merging all together.
Yep.
It'll be pretty interesting. I would say it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of work, a lot of editing, and a lot of money is the only thing that I would say. But they got it. They got the
Oh,
money. They got the money. Their budget for that season was like what, 10 million?
well, again, not to go everywhere in the seasons, but they
Mhm.
just announced like the budgets for like the actors getting paid. Actually, I don't know if you saw them or anybody has saw them, but holy shit,
They're not cheap anymore,
not
man.
cheap.
The kids, all right, I want $1,000 for my participation inside this episode. All right, in this season, next season it's I want 5 grand for this episode, and it's so on so forth. 10, then it's like what, 10,
Now you're in
50?
7, 8 figures right now,
Yeah, I'm like,
which is
shit.
insane. Um, yeah, yeah. So I feel like this season's gonna be like triple the amount of budgets.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get better CGI. It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
like the
Fast and Furious
Avatar movie.
budget.
No, Avatar budget, my
Yeah,
guy.
Avatar.
That
As long as
Avatar
it's not
and
4 hours, then I'm good.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
I think we'll be good. But what was your expectation when you first saw the season 1 to like what we've seen now? Like what was that expectation?
Um, like I said, I thought it was gonna be like honestly kind of boring. Like it's gonna be a slow build. Um, and then that whole Barb scene happened. Will gone missing. So I didn't expect any of that. I expected like a very, very build up show. Like one of those shows that it takes 8 episodes for it to finally snap or everything goes everything breaks all hell breaks loose last episode. That was my expectations. Kind of like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Um like everything 2 hours of it is basically just storyline, build up, this and that. In the last 10 minutes it's shooting, this and that, all that stuff. That was my expectations in the first episode, to be honest with you, in that season. Just the way it looked too. I don't know I don't know. I hate to judge, but the way I looked at the series, I didn't watch I watched it episode by episode, but I would browse around the episodes. So
Mhm.
just by looking at the pictures, I'm just like, like I don't
I don't
know.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at I didn't read the descriptions, but I read the titles, and I'm just like, like okay, I can tell it's gonna be a slow build up, but I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
Well, mix mix of it, I guess. But yeah, that was my expectations. Kind of like Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah. Honestly, whenever I first watched it, I enjoyed it. It took me, I would say, like up until episode 2 or 3 for me to get used to it. But
Hmm.
that first episode kind of like reeled me in just because of the buildup the way it was. Like, how do you go to someone's house, take a ride home, and then end up just go missing from there? Like, I like watching
Yeah.
a lot of like investigation stories, missing
Hmm.
person stuff. Like, that stuff intrigued me, and when they caught me in the first 10 minutes of it, I was like, "Oh, I'ma love this." And then it ended up being something totally different than what my expectation was. As in, I thought it was gonna be like a mystery type thing. Oh, like, this is how we found Will, this is where he went missing, and this is how we're gonna get him. Like, thought it was gonna be short, sweet, to the point. No, it took whole 7, 8 episodes to get there, along with other story as well too, which I was like, damn. Uh, but honestly, I had really high hopes at the beginning, just seeing how it was. The kids were adorable and sweet, cute at the beginning of it because they were just so new. Like, just
Yeah.
it was something so different instead of seeing teenagers already that you have seen on TV and everything. So it just made it a lot different, more unique because of the setting that it was in the 80s.
Hmm.
What was it, 82 at the time?
Hmm. Yeah.
83, 82, 83. One of
I
the
think
two.
now, like thinking back, I think that's one of the reasons why I started watching it because yes, I heard a lot of buzz about obviously about Stranger Things and this and that, but I just love the '80s vibe. So I was like, okay, if I don't like this show, I'm gonna be very disappointed because I have high expectations on movies like that. I just love the vibe of the '80s. I
Yeah.
mean, pretty sure everybody should love the '80s. If not, you're weird, honestly. Uh, but but yeah, I love the whole vibe of it, the music, you know. Um, but yep.
It was just different, honestly. Like you had said, like every themed, I would say every themed show, like I would say like that 70s show or like Boys Meets World where it's kind of set at that time. I mean, they were filming at the time that it was set
Mhm.
and then kind of trying to go with the same thing. Like that 70s show, it wasn't filmed in the 70s, I
I
don't
love
think.
that show.
But it was still kind of like, oh, we're gonna take it to the 70s and keep going forward, which now they're bringing it back for that's 90s show or
Yeah,
whatever, but it's not the same because you're going from
yeah,
the 70s to
yeah.
the, but same thing with Boys Meets World when it went to Girls Meets World or whatever it was, it just didn't feel the same.
Mhm.
And that's what I was like, I was hoping that wouldn't happen with this where it just stayed the same era the whole way through, just so it didn't jump around to different decades, which I hope they don't do. Because I mean, I like the 80s decade. It's something so unique, it's so different to
Mhm.
see in perspective and how they're doing it in this time to get a hold of antiques and relics from the
Yeah.
80s. Like, it's
I
just
mean, the
different.
'80s was just a golden era.
Yeah.
I would love to be a part of it. Honestly, if I had to choose like when I was supposed to get born, the '80s.
Yeah. The 80s. Seemed
I
like it
mean,
was the
like,
time of their life at the time.
oh, I mean, I could name a lot of things about the '80s. It's just from movies too.
Hmm.
You got Back to the Future
Oh,
happened
yeah.
that time. You know, Rocky
Mr.
movies was going on, and
Mr.
Breakfast
Marty
Club.
McFly. Yes.
Shoot, I can go off about all that stuff.
80s movies.
RoboCop, you name it. Um, but what an era.
It was a great era. Um, I think that's it. Honestly,
That's it.
that's I got, man.
Okay.
It just that's it. What else do we got? Will missing. We have a one not a wanted a missing poster for him. If you find
Hair.
him, let us know. His barber is looking for him to give him his nice
His
cut.
barber.
Just please let us know if you find Will. You can catch us anywhere. You can I think you can find us on YouTube under Emo Sawal Productions. Um, like I said, 210 and counting subscribers. Subscribers going. Um, you can follow both of us at our Instagrams. I am under TM underscore W. Uh, oh, WT underscore photography. And then Drew, what are you under, my guy?
I am under Drew Dread. That is it on Instagram.
Make it so simple, so easy
I'm such
for
a
you to find
basic
him.
bitch.
He said, I'm basic.
I'm basic.
He's
I
basic.
don't give a fuck.
Oh man, Frank's gonna have a blast bleeping you out today.
I don't give a fuck.
But before we go, I think Mr. Drew Dredd is gonna let us listen to some of his ASMR that he's going through right now.
I
He's
got my I got my protein cereal. I'm sorry.
ooh, yum, protein
No, it's
cereal.
not.
It's not. It doesn't
It's
seem like
not.
it is. But
No.
I guess, guys, we will catch y'all guys in the next one. And Drew, you're gonna chew us out. Let's go.
All right.